Hello. So, hey, AuthorTube, I haven't done very much vlog writing journey on my channel because I'm just so used to doing topic videos that I just did them. And you have no idea where I am on my journey other than my AuthorTube newbie video. So here's like a little update. I know I'm very torn. I'm very torn how to do these things because in one sense, I like topics videos because I don't like it when people ramble on it in a video for a couple of minutes and then get to the topic. Like, especially if they promised an informational video, I don't like them to go through like 5 or 7 minutes where they just talk about nothing that I was promised in the intro or in the title. But on the other hand, I miss doing that because I used to do that all the time on my channel when it was the Sugar Ray and when vlogging was big. And before I fell in love with video essays and having a solid topic. Okay, so let's talk about writing journey then. So first, I write every week and I write multiple problems. I kind of chase the happy. I chase what makes me feel good and what I can work on. Which is why today I haven't done any writing at all. I've done all YouTube videos and research. So it's so fun. I'm a very fun person. Trust me. I'm still running my main YouTube channel. I put out a video very controversial that asks for maybe we should do a second US revolution. Maybe there should be more of that. The first time it was good, maybe again. Then the next video I'm working on that channel, it's going to be about eco-terrorism. So I just love hemorrhaging subscribers from my barely subscribed to channels. And then the two big topics I'm preparing to make videos for this channel is one will be how to use AuthorTube or how I plan on using AuthorTube and inflicting my will on other people. The next one, which I expect to be controversial, will be on the ARC's Not Free controversy. And I refuse to call it drama because it is a legitimate controversy, but that one is also very controversial. Probably a controversial topic isn't a good thing to start out for a young channel, but I'll talk. But the video ideas keep piling on and my research keeps happening, so I gotta do them. I gotta get them out of the chamber so then I can make the next thing, and hopefully it will be better. So right now I'm working. What do I have, like 4 projects? I have 4 projects going on. I have the Bardo Planet Fong, which I've read the introduction to, but I'm still trying to finish that one. It's a high concept sci-fi. I have a special project which I'm working on with a collaborator, and they and I are... It's gonna tie into my main channel, and I guess I could do a little bit promotion for it on this channel, but it's an erotica. I'm working on my novel that I started during Nano, and then I completed Nano, but I didn't complete the novel, so I'm still writing the novel. And that is called Our Dying Days for now. Oh yeah, okay, I just have 3 projects going. I have 3 projects I'm working on. And then I write scripts for YouTube videos, and I write whatever comes to mind for more short stories. How do I write so many projects at once? And that answer is notes. This is the handy dandy notebook that stays in my pocket all the time. It is full. Right now it's full of notes on research for ARCs Are Free. I've decided to evolve the system because I used to keep everything in here. So I used to keep book ideas, tiny short stories that I start off. I used to keep project goals, notes for my critique partners, to-do lists for submissions and stuff. So this has been the start of a lot, and it's been really useful to have it along. I've discovered that some tasks don't need to be with me all the time, so I've started to split it up. This notebook I have for my major project, Our Dying Days. And one bit, it's a double notebook that I got from the library that I like so much I might have to make my own because I probably won't be able to find another one like it. One is blank pages, and the other side is lined pages. And what I've started doing is the lined pages, I've put down characters, bios, relationships, and in the blank pages, I've done drawings to help me remember what's gone on, relationships, arcs, outlines, character motivations and backgrounds. Oh, I did write other outlines here. Oh, bad me. Okay. I started expanding to all my outlines in the back of this notebook. Then I've broken up my schedule and my tasks to a bullet journal. And I haven't fully organized this yet as far as month, day, week. Right now, I used this journal previously for some notes, so I'll have to start tabbing it out. Right now I have Thursday, things I did when I didn't have the internet. Every day that I work, I'll be filling out a little bit. This journal will not leave my studio setup, so it will stay on my desk. Or sometimes I go and I do co-working, and I'll bring it with me when I'm co-working. That way I can organize what I've done, and I can schedule my time there while I'm actually dedicated working. Because I'm learning more and more about self-management, which seems to be kind of important when you're trying to build a platform and schedule out your time, and also write.
It seems to be important, just a little bit.
And then this will be my next notebook. So this is where I'm going to put notes, thoughts, ideas, critique partner problems, and I might still write goals that I want to do or new ideas for my other projects, but after I write them in here, they will make their way to their proper notebook so I can find them, so I can be a little more organized with my organization. And I mentioned that I had critique partners. Now I have a critique group that meets every week. It's just me and two close friends. We're trying to keep it small and together, but we have kept an online component to it. What I like about it is, one, it keeps me writing. It makes sure that every week I have something to share. Sometimes when I haven't written something wholly original, or when I don't have something that is complete and I want to keep working on it, maybe I want to introduce it to them as a whole. On those days, I will take something from my novel or some older writing, and I will take an hour or two and revise it and try to make it better, and then I will present it to them, and I'll get their critiques and their thoughts on it, and I can see how much I've improved, and also that builds not only my critique skills for looking at their writing and trying to give them good feedback, but also seeing how I've advanced for punctuation, grammar, writing, style. I add my new style to my old writing and see if I can improve and where my headspace was at the time. I do have a dilemma since we're talking about me and my problems. I did a survey about my kind of writing and what I make. And this survey is in order to test people for reading. And there's a public reading that happens in Cedar Rapids every month about a reading program and about a particular topic. One of the questionable themes I checked came up for the first one. I got an email. It's like, oh, we see that you like this writing, so we'd like to see if you want to come and read your piece. And you'll have 12 minutes to do it. I'm like, oh, awesome! Which is what I want, which is why I signed up. I can go there, I'll get my name out, I talk about my Twitter, I can sell books if I have them, I can squeeze out a few more of these, and I could slap a price on it and sell it if people like it. Because this is actually the story that inspired me to hit the theme. The problem is that I kind of don't want to read this out loud in public, because the section that I'm thinking about ends with two people committing suicide, and I don't want to go to a public place and have to give a trigger warning and encourage people to walk out, especially if I'm the first person there, or let's face it, in public live trigger warnings aren't usually heeded, and it's really hard just to go out oh yeah, no, I don't want to hear about a hanging suicide. And of course, when I make a story where suicide is part of the point and part of the characters willingly doing together, I made the suicide as visceral and gross and disgusting as possible, as not to make people think it's a good thing. Though I guess, to be fair, I could read it out loud and see if it takes me 12 minutes to read, because there's a hard time limit on it. And if it doesn't, then I'm out. I'm free. So you know what we could do? Right now I'll just read the story, and then I'll see if it goes over my time limit. And if it does, then I definitely won't do it. And if it doesn't, I'll ask if they want something that's heavily imaged with suicide. He could only see through the bright white beams of sun through reaching through leaves. Then nothing. Alright, that was just under 12 minutes. So, next step would be... So I guess I could do it, guys. You're a terrible influence, as me. Let me check Facebook, and if they haven't announced the event, then I'll send them an email clarifying the story that I've picked out for them, and if they want to do it. Maybe I'll have to do a public speaker event. If I do, I'll vlog it, and I'll definitely put it on the channel. So, live reading. So, online critique numbers has been a whole nother can of worms for me. I've received feedback from two major places, one DeviantArt and one Scribophile. And Scribophile is really cool in concept, but hasn't worked out very great for me. First, DeviantArt is where I started, where I started writing and feeling encouraged to write, and I got a lot of positive feedback that really helped, and a couple of people that really liked what I was writing. It did take a lot of time, and if you go back and find my DeviantArt, the writing on there is a bit rough, but it was a really great place to start. And if you're young, I think it's the best place for like young people to put out, other than like maybe Archive of Our Own, if you keep it positive. Of course, everywhere there's an amount of negative, unhelpful people, but that's part of why online kind of sucks. And life. But then there's Scribophile, and Scribophile is useful and neat in concept, but you have to like pay for it to get the most use out of it. Why I like Scribophile is because you have to critique in order to post stuff. They go off of a pointed system. With the points you earn by critiquing people, you can post your work, thank people, write longer work. And generally I found that most of the critiques that I've gotten out of there are useless to kind of dumb. And it might be my fault, because some things you can kind of try to learn from to get like average reader response. But usually I have 1 out of 3 critiques are useful, which I think is probably pretty lucky and pretty high. Like, I try to put instructions to make people make something useful, and most of the time they don't. And it's terrible. And there's much people that are all up on grammar and just straight up know grammar better than me. And when I'm looking to critique something, I don't so much care about the grammar as much as I do like the content, but they're very much so up on the grammar. Like, why the fuck would I do something super grammatically correct if I'm gonna scrap half the story? That's just me. So part of it might be that I'm not a good fit for the site because it's up its own fucking... Then the other part is that it has limited use, especially when it gets longer stories. 4,000 words is not a lot to read and critique. And it says a lot about the site and the level of people reading when they very much so have a problem with a post that's more than 4,000 words. And then they make suggestions like you could put in a second post, but without paying the site to be a premier member, you can't post more than 2 things at a time. So you can't hold on to old critiques or have a thing be open at the same time as you have a longer critique. And they want you to break those 2 up. But at the same time, a lot of people will just critique one or the other, or like, oh, I don't understand because I didn't read the first part. And a lot of people just straight up don't read your qualifications, your rules for what you're looking for in your critique. I have a lot of problems with Scribophile. So that's why I like live discussions over my work, because, maybe I should just get into how my critique group works. So how my critique groups work, I have a post describing the rules for it, like rules for guidelines for it, and they're rules that I straight up crypt from Brandon Sanderson and like stole from him and out of his class, his free online class on writing, which I totally recommend people watch. I was inspired by his thing in creating my writing group once I knew enough other people, other writers, to talk to and swap with. So the general idea is you submit a story online a couple days earlier if it's longer than 1,000 words. If you don't write something and post it ahead of time, then there's a 1,000-word limit, because in one setting in an hour, we want to be able to read everyone's work and talk about it. Ideally, we should limit conversation of each piece to 10 minutes or so, or 15, but so far it's only been a couple of us. So once it gets more, once there's 5 or 6 people, I'll want to put in a hard rule about submitting work early so everyone can read the piece, and then I'll put in a hard time limit for discussion. When your piece is being critiqued, you shut up and listen to everyone talk about it. That way you know what your piece is communicating to people, the thoughts they had onto it, what they were excited by, what they really, really liked. As a bonus, they can bring in for grammar if they want to, use for grammar. I don't appreciate that as much as what I learned about what you liked in a thing. When it comes to taking critique, I've taken Zay Frank's advice that he put up on his second channel back when he was vlogging and putting out videos that I actually liked. My favorite thing about it was it made me realize that writing, giving critique, and taking critique are all separate skills that you can work on. And the skill of taking critique means that you have to see where feelings come from, where advice comes from, decide what is malicious, what points of critique came from them having a bad day, from them just now hearing a new rule and sticking with it, from them just having a pet peeve. You get to decide what is useful advice. For example, I put one short story on Scribophile, and somebody did not like dialogue at all, and they suggested that I delete all of the dialogue, and I just have descriptions. So for a time, I was laboring under the thought that I wrote bad dialogue. And I brought the same piece in to my critique partners. And they love my dialogue the most. They think it's my strongest point and directly contradicted the person who just straight up pet peeve did not like dialogue in stories, which is the weirdest thing. And I did not follow up with this person because bad take. And I don't know, there might be a whole dedicated video on the topic of critique partners, but I just threw that in this vlog just to make it feel complete, so you can feel my whole writer journey. Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming. Like the video. Send a comment. I'll comment it back. I appreciate you sitting through all this, and I feel very embarrassed. Thanks for watching the whole dang thing. Leave a comment down below about what you think. Tell me about your writing journey. What you think of critique partners. Let me ask any questions you want about my life and anything that I didn't leave clear in writing journey. Like, for the record, I haven't been published since I was a child. So, there's that. Oh, I did get published on LaserTime, a website. Okay, there's that. I've been published once in LaserTime.com. LaserTimePodcast.com. It was a whole thing. Thanks! Bye! I'll have more videos immediately and hopefully some writing vlogs. Bye!